cameras and cast to make their stories visually compelling. But an equally vital aspect of filmmaking has nothing to do with what you see, but what you hear. A movie's soundtrack has three major elements: the dialogue, the music score, and just as important, the sound effects.
The sound of the electricity makes the movie so much richer and fuller. Somebody once said that half of what you think you're seeing in a movie, you're actually hearing.
Keep it going, keep it going!
Writer-director Frank Darabont understands the essential dimensions sound effects bring to a film. In his prison drama, The Green Mile, audio played an even more critical role than usual. The story is set on death row in a small southern prison. In this closed, confined setting, the tiniest squeak carries an amplified meaning.
Action!
And Darabont felt it was crucial that sound effects help the audience experience this world.
It's all about special little sounds or enormous sounds sometimes, or just textures, background textures, even the sound of the air. It'll have a presence in a given place in the movie.
Orchestrating these specialized sound effects is the job of the film's sound designer.
That's very good.
For this film, Darabont asked veteran sound designer Mark Mangini to make the death row corridor, nicknamed the Green Mile, a central character.
The challenge in this film was creating the feeling that you're in a prison in the South, and what are the sounds there, and we have to heighten your awareness of sound. We have to draw your attention to sound. Interesting.
This heightened awareness places the audience in the center of the drama. While filmmakers almost always use microphones during filming, there's usually so much extraneous noise from crew and equipment that most of the sound effects must be recreated later. Some of these effects are produced in a process called Foley, where audio technicians use props to create sounds that match the picture. Foley artists usually perform in a recording studio designed for that purpose. But since sound played such a vital role in the Green Mile, Mangini took an unusual step. He had his Foley artists record the sound effects on the actual prison sets.
I wanted to get to the real thing. So we were lucky enough to still have the sets that the film was shot on up. And that gave us an acoustic space that was identical to what was filmed.
Mark brought in two of Hollywood's top Foley artists, Hilda Hodges and John Roche. These experts have perfected their craft, having created sound effects for nearly 150 movies between them.
Here we have the freedom to walk away from our microphone and to come back, and we can work the whole mile and get the ambience of the room.
The Foley artists watch a monitor on set, while their microphone is fiber optically wired to a nearby recording studio where Mangini directs their action.
You have to lead Hilda by about 15 feet because the keys sound so much closer than the feet.
Okay, I can do that. You ready?
For a scene where the guards roll furniture through the prison corridor, Hilda and John matched the sounds using a Foley prop with squeaky wheels.
How was that one?
Just keep going all the way down the mile.
To capture the tiny footsteps of a mouse that lives in the prison, John uses safety pins.
Can we try that again? And this time go back the other direction, try a little tappier, like more pin, less the other bit.
Hopefully when you come to the movie theater and sit down and listen, you won't know that we've done anything.
This direct recording process heightened the reality of much of the film. But Foley alone was not enough for the movie's most critical scene. When a prisoner transfers his horrifying vision to a guard played by Tom Hanks, revealing how two young girls were killed. To realize the emotional impact needed for this dreamlike sequence, all the audio had to be created.
So I thought a great raw element to work with would be the sounds of girls playing and laughing and having fun together. So I had my stepdaughter and a couple of her friends come to the house and play in the backyard, and we got hours and hours of jump rope songs and swinging on the swings and playing tag.
Mangini edited these recordings on a digital audio system that allowed his team to layer multiple sounds to intensify their impact. Even the sound of the jump rope was altered to create an eerie presence.
There's a character who's particularly bad in the film, and we took his breathing, his sort of lecherous breathing, and we manipulated it in such a way as instead of just the sound of a rope swishing, we took his breath. It goes, whoo, 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 whoo. Sort of a nice way to juxtapose the innocence of these girls jumping rope with the lechery of the bad guy.
To make the scene even more haunting, Mangini's team manipulated the girls' laughter and combined it with the sound of exploding light bulbs.
I'll play this against picture
Yeah,
and see how it...
I love those squeals on top of the electrical stuff. It's just not what you'd expect.
As the sound effects were mixed, they were reviewed and critiqued by director Darabont.
It is I. Here we go.
I get stage fright. I've put a lot of myself into it, and I get butterflies the night before the director comes in to hear what I've done all the time.
Starting off, just the sound of the inhale was really, really good. Let's be on guard again for mouse clicks and squeaks. That's those little mouse tap shoes that he wears.
The engineers spend a few more hours tweaking to get the mouse footsteps just right.
Frank loves sound and the contribution it makes to movies, and he gave me real free rein to try stuff and experiment and go off on my own and create and design. So that was great.
Hearing those things come to life on a stage like this, where you have such enormously talented technicians bringing more body and weight and life to it, seeing those things layered on, really, it's an incredibly thrilling process for me because they really help bring the movie to life.
The gift of what's inside of me so you can see for yourself.
The flashback sequence capped 4 months of work on over 3,000 sound effects created for the movie, providing a critical psychological component in translating this death row tale to an audience. In 1997, director Wolfgang